Hi, I'm Megan Turner and my film, A Film Call Away, was shortlisted this year at the Cinematic Film Festival of 2021. A Film Call Away is a short documentary looking into loneliness in lockdown, with open talks from 6 women that truthfully talk about how they were feeling with their loneliness during isolation, accompanied by film footage that gives a sense of repetitive day-to-day things we see daily and made from limitations such as being stuck in lockdown and limited equipment. This is how the film turned out.
For me, mainly, it's just listening to music, so music that I liked before. Like, we went into lockdown, and I found that music with, like, big riffs, big beats, really helped, because for me, it's kind of translated as feeling like, do you know when you're, like, watching a film, and you're not in the film, but you can see it happening? I feel like that's what life has kind of become. So life is, like, happening, and I'm just watching it. I'm not taking part. I can't take part. It's just I'm watching it. So, like, music that has, like, big beats, big riffs, it's like it provides a kind of, like, heartbeat, if that makes sense. Like, it reminds that, like, life still exists, that I'm not just watching, I'm taking part, even if it's completely different than what I expected it to be.
I lived on my own last year in the centre of Manchester, so, like, my work life was my life, so it led to quite a lonely and isolating time. The year before that, I lived with a couple and just kind of, I wasn't feeling myself anyway, so I just, like, isolated myself in my room, so it kind of just progressed from there. I thought living on my own would help, but it actually made things worse. Like, when I was feeling most lonely, which was when I was at uni and last year, it was just getting drunk all the time, because that was the only way for me to just deal with. I didn't like being with myself either, so it was this weird thing where I was, like, really lonely, like, isolating myself from everyone, but also didn't want to be with myself, so I'd just get, like, smashed all the time. Literally, work was my life. Like, I'd get home from work and I'd carry on doing it, or I'd go out with everyone from work until, like, the early hours, then we'd go back into the office the next day. So I think it was, I guess it's like a numbness, maybe, that it was just a thing that I was trying to avoid. Like, I just wouldn't accept it, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd do anything to not just go back and just be, like, with myself. So yeah, I think it was just this, like, numb, empty space. I think it's hard reaching out to people when you're lonely, because you do feel isolated and you feel disconnected in general. So you have to, like, force yourself to then connect to someone and reach out. So I think it's a really difficult thing when you're lonely to do that.
You're always inside your own head thinking about things, going over the same things again and again. You could be around 100 people, the centre of attention, and still inside it's like, no. Because there's only so many things you can talk about to people or try to talk to them, and they either dismiss it or say, pull yourself together, get over yourself, well, chin up, and grass is always green. And it's like, well, not really, no. I mean, it is like Groundhog Day. You get up, you do the same thing. It's like what's on the back of a shampoo bottle: lather, rinse and repeat.
I thought that I'm really getting used to lockdown. I like it because I don't have to go out so much. And I thought that, well, I'm going to get used to not, travelling in. I want to, like, meet people again. Look forward to it. But I'm a homebody at heart, that's for sure. We're just thinking, right, what can we do after lockdown ends? And I, like, travel to where they live, and we can do this and do that in terms of, like, ventures and activities. Being in the group now, then people admit that, oh, I've been feeling like this, but then they still show that they're happy, which I like because they're being honest. But for anything else, then my whole view's completely changed on it. But I just feel like that, oh, they're doing this, but I'm not there yet. It can make you feel like you can interact how you should be able to interact with people, because you've not had that for some time, and then you feel as if your social skills are fading away from you because you're not using them. and you're like in your room that you feel that's your like safe haven. And I know that it'll pass this kind of like time, but yeah, it's definitely forgot what I was talking about now. But yeah, no hobbies just now and that, especially when it's like online. I've got college and the group to keep me sane. That's how I would describe it.
I felt lonely beforehand, but being isolated and not even having that chance to go out and do something just to get your mind off other things, I felt it was very hard. Social media, I know like there's lots of controversial topics on it, but I just think social media has been absolutely awful for the new generations, because every day we're seeing every single photo that is posted and you only see the best bits of someone's day or the best bits of someone's life, and it really makes you think, oh well, I don't feel like that, or at this moment of time I'm not doing anything like that. It actually sends you into a place where you don't want to do anything. You feel lonely.
I think people think that when you've got people around you that you're not lonely, that loneliness doesn't exist. But when you have people around you and you're still feeling lonely, you kind of just get to a point where you don't want to do anything else anymore. You're searching for something inside yourself that is really difficult to find when you can't go anywhere. And then you just get into this little bubble of doubt, and I became more lonely because even when I was talking to friends, we had nothing to say. We had nothing different to talk about. And you kind of just felt so isolated in yourself. Like, how's your day going? Like, what have you done? And it kind of just made you feel like a robot. And then it got to a point where you just sort of sat there and you're like, I have no one. I wish loneliness didn't exist.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.